Do you feel stuck, unable to move forward in accomplishing your goals or your dreams despite having attended conferences and seminars and taken classes? Do you feel frustrated because you can't seem to implement the wonderful material that you've listened to on DVDs or CDs or on talk show radio? Do you ever wonder why and get frustrated with yourself because you can't overcome that? Hi, I'm Carole Walker. I'm an individual and couple therapist and a life coach and owner of Simple Transformations. And I'm hoping to inspire you and to provide to you the answer to that question, why? Why can't you implement some of those wonderful teachings that you've learned along the way to get unstuck? And so I'm hoping to inspire and provide you with that question, with that answer to that question through my submission for Movers and Shakers, the Toronto submission. Now, often I've had clients who have said to me, or friends, I know this stuff, why can't I implement this stuff? And what has come out is that they're actually doing behaviors that are contrary to what they need and know they need to do, and therefore not accomplishing their goals. And so they keep buying the videos and materials in order to be inspired one more time to go forward. But in essence, they're being their worst enemy, and they're being far from their own best friend. And this is what I want to talk about, is the concept of being your own best friend, and how that, as a guiding principle, can guide you through and help you flow through those materials so that you actually are implementing them and getting results. So I want to tell you a story about how I came to know that concept and how briefly how it worked in one of my clients' lives. So 25 years ago, there was a man who was sitting in the distance in a restaurant, and I was there with my sister and my mother, and we're having some breakfast out in Toronto. And this man came up and walked deliberately to our table and slid a piece of paper across the table and towards me. And so I picked it up and read it and looked up, and this man was gone. And my sister, my mother, said, "What was that all about?" And I said, "I don't know, but he left me this message: be your own best friend." So at the time I didn't know the significance of that, so I felt a little awkward. I put the paper in my purse and I went on. Funny thing is that that message, be your own best friend, always came back in my life. Every time I had a decision to make or I was going through some difficult time, it would always resonate there. And so I implemented that and used that as a guiding tool for my life. And each time I used it, I made the right decision for me. So I don't know if that was an angel that came to visit me on that day or not, but it certainly performed a miracle in my life and certainly in the lives of those that I've shared this with as well. Now, one of my clients, as an example, went from working an 80-hour week, living on energy drinks, had no time for relationships, her health was poor, she was depressed and on medication, and she was seeking some life coaching in order to have better time management. And so went through the life coaching materials with her, went and provided her with some therapeutic strategies, and nothing seemed to work. So I challenged her to be her own best friend and to use that as her guiding principle. Well, what happened was a miracle. She changed and did a whole 180. This job that she did not want to leave, she ended up leaving, and she implemented all kinds of healthy practices in all of her areas of life: relationships, her health, her eating, diet, and certainly the way that she approached her life in general. She decided to move back to family origin and moved to a different province, and she had decided to start a family, which was contrary to what she said she wanted in the first place. But she was able to implement all the tools that were given her once she decided to be her best friend and ask herself, if I was my best friend, what would I do just now? So I challenge you to, for the next 7 days, to be your own best friend and ask yourself, if I was my best friend, what would I do right now? What would I tell myself right now? So if you use that as your guiding principle, you will be able to systematically transform your life and use all those great, wonderful tools that you learn along the way. I would love to hear from you. If you could email me at Carole Walker at simpletransformations.ca or find me on Facebook, Simple Transformations. Thank you. I want to thank Louise and Reed and Cheryl for this opportunity for the online event or radio show. Thank you.